After silence from the Multiversus team, we finally got a surprise patch notes updates this night. So basically tonight. And oh my god guys, it is huge. Although there is no new characters, or well, for that fact, we don't even know who's going to be the next new character because they just haven't straight out told us any details on that since Marvin came out. But we do have patch notes, and these are huge patch notes. My name is Ben64, and today we are going to talk about Season 2.2 patch notes. Let's begin. So first off, they added some developer notes with Rift Recovery. This patch is our first pass at globally adding more risk into powerful attacks through Rift Recovery. When you commit and miss an attack, in many cases there will be a larger window for the opponents to punish. We'll be trying to be careful with this. We want to help ensure that we're improving the neutral game toward a direction that is more calculative while not creating an extremely passive gameplay style. So basically, not like, oh, let me just throw a move and then dodge. And what is the driving force behind this? We just want greater power moves to have higher costs for using them, whether that be cooldown or commitment. Next up, we got general stuff. They're updating move lists for text for Arya, Batman, and Velma. This is interesting. As for maps, finally, the court is ready. It's time to ball up and ball out. The court is finally getting drafted from custom matches and will be joining 2v2, 1v1, and silly queue map rotations. Time to turn up those pickup games into officials. The walls on the court will now break after one wall bounce and will now respawn after a short time and push players inwards. We're hoping that this change will mitigate the effectiveness of camping by the blast box and help keep the balls inbound. For perks, the Armor Crush perk, they fixed a bug where attack would break armor without reaching the appropriate charge and threshold. And for the meat of the potato of the patches, the buffs, nerfs, and bug fixes of all the characters. Guys, the patch notes this week are huge, and I can't wait to tell them to y'all because I'm really excited about this. So for the most part, buffs and nerfs in this patch have basically been limited to Rift Recovery, so just a heads up on that. For Arya, she got a lot of nerfs. So increase in Rift Recovery, hope you all know, is basically increase in lag in when you can use a move. So usually when I say increase Rift Recovery, that's basically a nerf. For her grounded up attack, increase Rift Recovery by 5 frames. Up side attack is increased by 1 frame on jab 1. Air down attack, increase Rift Recovery by 5 frames. And up special, increase recovery by 5 frames. Now, as you all know, I've been doing frame data videos, and I'm probably going to have to remake a lot of those videos eventually. What I might start doing with these videos is that I'll just start making a video at the beginning of the season of all the characters and just do frame data then, so we can so we can get more accurate things at the beginning of the season. Next up with Batman. Batman got a lot of stuff this patch. His movement speed reduced to 2250, and Batman moves so fast that we slowed him down just a bit. They buffed his ground down attack, where second hit now applies 1 stack of weakened debuff. For his ground side attack, second hit now applies 1 buff of weakened debuff, and increased Rift Recovery by 2 frames on jab 1 and 3 on jab 2. Neutral attack no longer applies weakened debuff status on hit. Air up attack increased Rift Recovery by 6 frames. Air side attack, they fixed an issue where on hit buffs would apply to enemies without the attack connecting with hits 2 of air side attack. Air up special increased Rift Recovery by 4 frames on the air version of it, and the grounded version has 3 frames of Rift Recovery. And side special, they fixed the issue where grapple had no Rift Recovery when used on the ground. And there's also a little note that we are aware of the issue of the precision grapple signature perk, and they'll be addressing this in our next patch. So apparently there's been a problem with this patch. this perk that he has, and they're gonna fix it next time. Black Adam got it off easy. His ground neutral special, they fixed an issue where Black Adam's chain lightning would whiff through opponents after Black Adam was rung out. For Bugs Bunny, his ground up attack increased Rift Recovery by 4 frames. For Finn, his ground neutral attack increased Rift Recovery by 11 frames. His air down special, apples now have 2 ammo with a 10-second recharge, and this is basically to prevent extremely passive play by consistently throwing an unlimited supply of apples. Air down attack, land cancel window delayed by 6 frames, and increased whiff recovery by 5 frames. Air side attack, increased whiff recovery by 7 frames on the first hit of Finn's air side attack. For their side special, they fixed an issue where Finn would use his air version of a side special on the ground if an apple was on screen, and his other side special slightly increased the size of Finn's grounded side special projectile blocking shield. For Garnet, her air up attack increased whiff recovery by 7 frames. For Harley, ground side attack fixed an issue where jab 4 did not suffer from attack decoy, and ground side attack shoulder hitbox removed on jab 1. For her ground up special, land cancel windows delayed by 6 frames, air version is unaffected. For her air neutral attack, hit cancel window moved back by 2 frames, and it's basically allowing Harley to cancel her air neutral attack into other moves for additional combo follow-ups that would help with combo expressions and provide a reward for Harley players when landing a hit. And of course, her air neutral attack increased whiff recovery by 8 frames. And basically, they put a little note. The goal with this change is to make sure Harley's air neutral attack was more calculative, and the goal is to make it more punishable for those who throw it out too often and to generally pass out the overall risk and reward. For Iron Giant, his air up attack increased whiff recovery by 6 frames, and air neutral attack increased whiff recovery by 6 frames. For Jake, his ground side attack, dodge cancel window delayed by 4 frames on both jab 1 and 2, and jump cancel window delayed by 4 frames on jab 1 and 2. Ground neutral attack increased whiff recovery by 5 frames. Air down attack increased whiff recovery by 5 frames on the third hit of a skateboard. Air side attack increased whiff recovery by 2 frames. And air up special, the opponent has 15% more knockback influence. For LeBron James, his air side attack, whiz basketball increased whiff recovery by 30 frames, and without increased whiff recovery by 6 frames. His air down attack, whiz basketball, land cancel window delayed by 5 frames. His air down attack, without basketball, knockback angle adjusted to be more horizontal in nature. Ground down attack, without basketball, increases recovery by 10 frames. And air and ground side special with basketball adjusted the sound effects on dunk to better match the hitbox. Now, Marvin the Martian has a plethora of patches, mostly buffs. So his movement increase, so they increased Marvin's crouch walk speed to 1050, weight increase from 50 units, and this was because Marvin died slightly at earlier burst than we would have preferred. His air side attack knockback on first hit is more horizontal. They also slightly increased Marvin's movement during the second attack, and increased hitbox size of the second attack too. Ground side attack also reduced hit pause on seconds on 0.15 down from 0.175, and set projectile initial direction of Marvin's third attack to be more horizontal. Also for his ground side attack, they increased projectile speed to 750 on a third attack, and they did this change because Marvin's good ground combo is supposed to be like a true combo or something like that. Air side attack, they increased hitbox size. Neutral attack, they fixed a bug where Marvin could infinitely spam this move when performing near the edge of platforms. They also made Marvin's uncharged bubble will move forwardly slightly faster instead of being stuck in place. And his air and ground up attack increased HP of the ship to 18. His air and ground up attack, additional visuals to better show which team Marvin's rocket belongs to. And again with the up attack, they set the rocket to have a max lifetime of 10 seconds instead of being infinite. And they also, for his up attack, increased the hitbox size on Trumpet. Air side attack, they fixed an online bug where follow-up inputs would not register after hitting an enemy with this attack. This should basically help see if the attack that follows up air side special would, be more reliable. Air and ground down special, they fixed a bug where Marvin's flag could persist after the Batcave's Batmobile's platform expires, and the down special increased the initial hitbox of the size of the flag. They also increased how quickly the hitbox size grows while charging the flag. And also for that same move, they removed the horizontal movement stop when Marvin dashes downward with his air down special, allowing Marvin to retain horizontal movement when starting the attack. Originally, Marvin would stop moving horizontally when he used his down special on the air and would go straight down. By removing this limiter, he would now retain his horizontal movement speed during attack and increasing mobility. Also for the same attack, they reduced the lifetime duration of Marvin's flag to 6 seconds. And they reduce fly cooldown to 26 seconds. And for his neutral special, they fix a bug where a projectile will get stuck infinitely after hitting a bubble. And they also slightly increase the hitbox size. For his ground side special, they reduce max pull distance of Marvin's ground side special. And it's basically if an enemy is not pulled all the way to Marvin, they will be knocked back towards Marvin instead of upwards. And they added up and down aiming to the animations. Damn, that was a lot for him. For Morty, his side attack increased whiff recovery by 4 frames on jab 1. Air down attack increased fall speed slightly. Air down attack increased whiff recovery by 5 frames. Air up attack increased whiff recovery by 4 frames. And down special increased cooldown to 45 seconds. For Rain Dog, they increased whiff recovery by 10 frames for his ground up attack. His side attack, they increased whiff recovery by 4 frames on both jab 1 and 2. His up attack, in the air of course, increased recovery by 12 frames. And air to up attack, it fixed an issue where Rain Dog could branch into dodge or jump on whiff, but could not branch into another attack until much later. The attack whiff branch has been increased by 12 frames, and the dodge jump branch window has been adjusted to line up with the attack branch window. And its air side attack increased with recovery by 5 frames. For Rick, they increased with recovery by 2 frames on jab 1. Air side attack, dodge cancel window delayed by 10 frames on a whiff. Air down attack, increased with recovery by 2 frames. And up special, they fixed an issue where Rick will sometimes not launch himself upwards. For Shaggy, side attack, increased whiff recovery by 4 frames on jab 2. Ground up attack, increased whiff recovery by 3 frames. Down attack on the air increased whiff recovery by 6 frames. And air side attack increased whiff recovery by 5 frames. And land cancel window delayed by 5 frames. Neutral special, rage buff now lasts for a maximum of 15 seconds. Ground up special, land cancel window delayed by 6 frames. Air version unaffected. And the down special, sandwich, no longer consumes rage buff on use. For Steven Universe, they increased whiff recovery by 10 frames on his down attack. Air up attack increased whiff recoveries by 6 frames. And ground attack increased whiff recovery by 8 frames. For Stripe, ground side attack increased recovery by 6 frames on jab 1. Ground up attack increased whiff recovery by 8 frames. Air side attack increased whiff recovery by 1 frame. And ground side special improved efficiency of the combos reliably going into the second hit. For Superman, air side attack increased whiff recovery by 8 frames. Down attack increased whiff recovery by 9 frames. Sorry about that. And neutral special increase ice breath meter charges to 28, up from 24. For Tass, his neutral attack on the ground increased hitbox active windows by 3 frames. Ground side attack increased hitbox active frames by 3 frames on jab 2, or the tornado hit. Air neutral attack increased whiff recovery by 6 frames. His air side attack, they increased whiff recovery by 8 frames. His neutral special, both in the ground and air, they fixed an issue where weakened stacks applied from Taz eating would not decoy properly. And his neutral special removed the ability for a Taz to eat Marvin's airship. I find that really absurd that he was able to do that. For Velma, ground side attack increased whiff recovery by 8 frames on jab 1. And on his up attack, increased end lag by 8 frames. Last but not least, Wonder Woman. Air up attack increased whiff recovery by 5 frames. And also that they fixed an issue where Wonder Woman could branch into dodge or jump on whiff and could not branch into another attack until much later. The dodge jump whiff branch window has been increased by 5 frames, and the dodge branch window has been adjusted to line up with dodge jump branch windows. His up special increased whiff recovery by 8 frames, and his also his up special land cancel windows delayed by 6 frames on the grounded version, air unaffected. And that is every single buff, nerf, bug fix, and new things added to Multiversus on patch notes 2.2. This was definitely character patch notes heavy, especially with whiff recovery. And I don't know, man, Marvin's buffs and nerfs this patch. This is probably got to be the most nerfed character in one singular patch so far in the game. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I would like to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and you subscribing would help out a lot. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and stay safe on those streets, because they ain't safe. Bye.